Yeah, I'm Nathan Loughran. I'm the Director of Campus here at Axis Creative College in London. So the LSIF project is a real opportunity for us. We have collaborated, partnered with a number of colleges in the partnership, which is fantastic. It provides a lot of opportunities. So first of all, the ability to use some of the capital spend on some of the facilities we've got here. We opened a brand new campus in September, which is a huge leap from where Axis Creative College was in London before. We've been able to invest some of the money through the LSIF into some of the spaces, including our event space, which is a really state-of-the-art venue, but it's a gig venue. It's used for esports tournaments, film screenings, training, and all those sorts of things. And as part of the partnership, that also allows us to work with our colleagues at other colleges to provide training, which we did on site within that event space, in order to create content that can be shared across the consortium, which allows us to create content both for staff development, but also teaching and learning that can be shared. We've also looked at really how we engage with employers to develop the skills that our students need, but going into that vocational industry that they are hoping to go into, so into that creative sector. We're using that ability to really identify skills gaps. This has led us to really focus on the digital skills agenda, but also really dip our toes into the green agenda as well. So we put on a Coding for All course, which is we deliver here, which is allowing access to people who are lacking in digital skills to get that basic framework so they can come in and do that. And again, as part of this is as part of the LSIF project, we've been committed and able to provide that. That's going to grow, hopefully in year 2. We've also identified green champions, which again is part of the green skills agenda, and that's allowed us to give some of our current staff the ability to focus some of their time and energy by giving them remission into developing resources that can then be shared amongst tutors to really address some of the green skills for young people, but also as part of staff development. So these green champions they've been able to do some training, they've carbon neutral training and others related activities through this LSIF fund that has been a cost, so we've managed to get them trained up and they're now cascading that in staff development sessions for everybody around the college. We're hoping not only to really support our students to get the skills they need to be successful, but we want to liaise and collaborate with people within the consortium, but also with employers, and actually ultimately shape and change the creative sector ourselves through through supporting underrepresented groups to give them the best opportunity. I think we want to give learners as much as possible industry relevant experience in a facility that mirrors that. So that's the first thing with the capital that we've managed to get supported through the LSIF. That's allowed us to invest in things like the event space, so we can have state-of-the-art facilities to support learning in a really modern way. But also more nuanced than that, I think it is around things like the green agenda. A lot of our young people are very, very passionate about that, and I think we have to sort of embed and weave that into what we're doing in terms of teaching and supporting young people, but also our staff, making sure our staff are skilled and aware to be able to support those developments, both in green but also in digital. So we're looking at that as well. We're looking at the sort of where there is kind of digital poverty and skills sections, how we can support and encourage people with that. If we can mirror, wherever possible, the actual creative sector as close as possible. It's changing and evolving all the time. What we do is we provide our young people with that actual experience and skill set, not just using kit and equipment in a state-of-the-art event space, but also through teaching and learning, through vocationally relevant projects, through the skills development that allows them real chance, or the best chance, to really go into employment in the creative sector or higher education that's relevant. And through our conversations with partners, industry partners and employers, we've identified what the skills are, and sometimes the skills are not just operating this particular camera or learning this particular piece of software, but it's also some of the wider skills. It's about communication, it's about professional behaviours and standards as well. So it's wrapping all that into their experience, so that they're best placed when they're to leave here to go on to have a successful career. We have already existing partnerships with a lot of people within the creative sector who obviously come in, give guest talks, meet with students, provide work experience, but more importantly, they feed into the curriculum. They feed into letting us know what the latest skills gaps are, what the latest development is, and we can address that throughout the whole curriculum, but in particular, this LSIF bid that is focused on digital skills and the green agenda allows us to highlight those areas where we want to ensure that our students have the skills and awareness that the employers are telling us that they need. I think we have a lot of ambitions to grow and develop the provision. What we've done in the short term is we've put on this Coding for All course that has only been made possible because of the LSIF bid that allowed us to do that allowed us to actually pay for member staff who could deliver it, we could promote it out to people and build a community, and that's something we want to grow. So that's really an entry-level course for people who are, in digital poverty perhaps, is a term you hear bandied around, but maybe just need some help getting some of those digital skills that employers say that everybody needs now. So that's a course we've started to run. We're looking at things all the time. We're developing our level 3 programs. We're doing a curriculum development summit this week, so we're looking at what we're delivering and how well it meets the needs of our students and how that links to employers. So that's a continual process, continual review of our existing provision. There is ambitions in the future to look upwards into level 4 and 5 and to look at other, whether it's evening courses, summer camps, that sort of thing as well. I think the LSIF project's allowing us to do things that we often talk about wanting to do, but don't always find the time in the day-to-day. So I think there's 3 main areas that we've been able to do very quickly. One is address skills around green and develop staff development and allow some of our staff to have that time, that remission to develop their own skills and then to provide staff development that can then enhance our student experience, and that's happening already. I think I mentioned already the Coding for All course, looking at things like that. We'd love to have done that in the past. This has allowed us to do it now. I think probably possibly most excitingly of all has been the opportunity to collaborate with our partner colleges, which is something I think everybody talks about wanting to do. This has kind of, I think, forced us all to the table a bit earlier and forced us to say, well, okay, now we're part of this project, how can we collaborate? So we've produced resources, films that can be used across the whole partnership as other partners have, and that's a shared resource that will really support us as a united kind of group. We've also provided training, as I say, in our event space. It's also been partially funded through LSIF, so that's allowed us to develop that. And as we move into the following year, there's a lot of not just ambition, but actively beginning to look at how we can collaborate in live ways, how we can run guest lectures or talks or even teaching sessions across the whole of the college partnership. So I think that's a really exciting initiative that just would not have been made possible without this. But we actually want to challenge the creative sector. We want to say that at the moment, the creative industries is not representative of our students. We have students from a huge range of different backgrounds, hugely diverse ethnic population of students, a lot of students from financially challenged backgrounds as well. We've got a fairly large transgender community here as well, and we want to really celebrate all the diverse groups within the college. But ultimately what we want to do is we want to see those voices more alive within the industry itself.